Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the pros and the cons about living in Eagle, Idaho. What are the things that should super draw you to it? What are the things that might push you away? But let's look at both of them, because guess what? If you decide to live here, you're going to get both. Let's get into it. What's up guys, I'm Chase Dolan and this is the Living in Boise channel, where I hope to give you a little bit of that inside scoop on what it's like to live, work, and play here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area. If this is your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button below, as well as hit that little bell, because I release videos like this every Tuesday and Thursday. And as much as I love making these videos and engaging with you all, I am a licensed agent here in the Boise area, so I would love even more to help you with your real estate needs. So this phone number that's popping up below, I'm the one who answers those calls, texts, emails, whatever it is. So if there's any way that I can help, I would absolutely love to. But with that being said, let's get into it. What are the pros and cons about living in Eagle? Transparency really matters a lot to me when I'm looking at kind of my business, when I'm choosing where to live. I want to get the nitty gritty. I want to figure out exactly what I'm getting into. A lot of times when we're looking at areas, we're going to tell you all the great things about them, but I also want you to know the bad things as well, because at the end of the day, guess what? You're going to get both.
It's pros and cons time!
If you could find a way to move to an area and only get the positives and just completely kick all the negatives out of your life, I would love to chat with you, because that is the secret. I would love to do that. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're going to get into. So we're going to go through some pros today, and then we're also going to go through some cons. And we're going to start off positive. So let's get into pro number one. One of the best things about living in Eagle, Idaho is what it's like to raise a family there. Now, there are a few reasons as to why it is a great place to raise a family, and don't get me wrong, this is going to change from family to family. These really matter to my wife and I. It matters to a lot of people here in our area, but if there's something that's missing, that's what I'm here for. Let me know what is missing, and we'll find a place that works a little bit better. But when we're talking about a family, some of the big things are the schools here in Eagle consistently are rated as some of the best here in our area, whether it's preschool, whether we're getting into elementary, middle, high school. We have some great charter school options. There are vast options. Now, as I say every single time I bring up schools, do some of your own research. Look out, figure out what it is about a school that really draws you to send your kids there, because at the end of the day, it's super objective. And the great thing about Eagle and the schools is there are a ton of options. So if you're looking for that public school route, you're looking for something that has a little bit more of a sports focus, there's gonna be something for you and your family. There are just great options. And the great part about this too is as we're getting more and more development, because Eagle is growing, we're just gonna get newer and newer schools, which a lot of times those will start to get higher ratings just because facilities are great, everything's a little bit shinier and pretty, and hopefully they have a little bit of that funding behind them to actually give that good experience to their students. But as you're kind of looking for a home, keep an eye out, because we're gonna need more schools just to accommodate the increasing population. Now, outside of schools, there's some other great things about living in Idaho for a family. A lot of it has to do with just the way that the city is set up. So Eagle really puts an emphasis on the natural beauty, I would say, of the city. So there's access to the greenbelt, the river, all of these things that allow you and your family to get out and actually enjoy the city that you live into, as well as, and I've said it in past videos, the way that the city is structured, there's a lot of big new developments that happen, but they have a ton of sidewalks, paths in them, parks, everything. It's kind of just how the neighborhoods in Eagle have been being developed lately, as well as between each of the neighborhoods, you don't have as many main thoroughfare streets, so it's easier to have kids who have friendships in various neighborhoods, because they're not having to cross a major road to where you're saying, hey, please stay in the neighborhood today. We don't want you to completely cross over. Now, when we're talking about the focus that Eagle puts on its parks and making sure that there's a lot of open areas, a lot of public parks for people to have access to, this leads me into con number one. Eagle, for sure, the way that it stands right now when they're looking at their development, they have much more of an emphasis on parks and some of these open spaces than having new strip malls, having shopping, eating, things like that. There are tons of options in Eagle. They have a ton of commercial places that have spots for this, so it's not like you're gonna be starved for options, but this isn't a place where you're gonna have new strip malls popping up everywhere. You're not gonna have new nail salons, new haircut places 2 minutes from your house. That's just not the way that the city operates, and frankly, I think that's a good thing. But if that's more what you're looking for and you're not as into the parks and such, Eagle might not be the best place. As always, we don't know what's going to come here in the next decade or so. Eagle could definitely all of a sudden shift and be that place that just loves strip malls, and there's going to be new developments popping up. Specifically, when you're looking at the map, Eagle and Star are still having to connect. There's going to be some services, some commercial developments and stuff out there just because it's a necessity and we still want those. But this isn't going to be something where the entirety of State Street is just going to be commercial developments anytime soon. Now, hopping back to the positive side, pro number 2 is Eagle, Idaho is a great place to build a new construction home. The developments out here really put a focus again on the open space. They have community pools. They want some of those amenities without being a complete country club. We have some of our more unique developments with Legacy, Terra View coming. You're gonna have some bigger lots than in other parts of the valley. Now, with all of that, you do get a little bit of a higher price point because guess what? Land costs money, and if you want that bigger lot, you're gonna have to pay for it. But the builder options in Eagle as well are fantastic. If you're looking for a certain builder, I guarantee you we can find somewhere in Eagle for them to build you a home. All the way down to our track builders who still have some land over in Eagle and Star if you're looking for more of that entry-level home, all the way up to our semi-custom to fully custom builders. There is an opportunity for you in Eagle just because there is so much growth happening and a lot of builders want to have land here. And when you're thinking about where you want to build a home, one of the things to look at as well is the financial component, that even though Eagle has a little bit higher home prices than the rest of the valley, it is somewhere that holds its value extremely well. Even over the last year, Eagle home prices have not dropped at the same rate that others have just because Eagle is a great place to live. People want to live here. People were trying to relocate here during that downturn as well. And whenever you're building new construction, you're always hoping for a little bit of some quick equity during the time that your build is happening. How much can your home appreciate? There's an opportunity for that in Eagle, even if you're not going to be here for the next 7 to 10 years. But, and I'm sure that some of your ears perked up when I said it just a couple seconds ago, one of the cons about living in Eagle, Idaho, so let's get into con number 2, are the higher home prices. It is definitely not the place if you want the most bang for your buck. Eagle, Idaho isn't going to be that one. Homes here are a little bit more expensive than everywhere else in our valley. If you're looking at a home in Meridian that is the exact same home moved into Eagle, you're probably going to be looking at a $50,000, $75,000, sometimes $100,000 premium. If you're looking out in Canyon County with Nampa and Caldwell, you can sometimes find a home that's almost identical for $200,000 more. Now, there is a reason for this. People aren't just paying for no reason. There is an appealing factor of Eagle that factors into those home prices, but it is still something to be aware of. So if you have a tight budget, you need a really large home on a smaller budget, Eagle probably isn't going to be the place for you. But again, don't fret, because you are still, even if you're living outside of Eagle, but you want to take advantage of some of the things you love about Eagle, you're talking about a 20, sometimes 30-minute drive from the tip of Caldwell to actually get here, so you still have access to a lot of the parks, the Greenbelt, etc. All right, and pro number 3. Eagle, Idaho is still a small town. The downtown strip of Eagle is absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of small, cute restaurants, boutiques. You're gonna find some places for brunch, coffee shops. There's actually a brewery being built. There are some things that really make it an appealing place to be. Right now, as I'm sitting here, it's a beautiful, and starting this weekend, the Eagle Saturday Market will be just directly downtown. There are a lot of things that make it a really appealing place to be, but Eagle is also, as it's been developed, is starting to reinvigorate a lot of that downtown to really get it a upscale, small town feel. And with all the development and everything, Eagle is really trying to keep that small town feel, but it's giving it a little bit more of an upscale vibe. So there are a lot of new restaurants coming that have really unique food. They're trying to provide that cool experience. There are a lot of really good options in downtown Eagle because the city wants to develop it and give it that next step feel, but also by keeping it small. They don't want to just have this be a massive downtown right now. So whether you're looking for awesome French food, you're looking for a pizza joint, you're looking for some seafood on the lake kind of coming later this year, Eagle is a place that will have all of that. Now, going into the next con number 3, if you are someone that absolutely loves the chain restaurants, you want that consistency, you want to feel that exact same meal that you have wherever you're from, Eagle might not be the best place for you. But with that being said, your Chili's, your Outbacks, your Applebee's, your Sonics, all of those are only a short drive away. Now, if you want to have a Chili's or Outback within 5 to 10 minutes of you, we need to look more at Meridian, we need to look more at the Boise Bench. There's going to be great options, but Eagle, Idaho definitely has an emphasis on local-owned restaurants versus some of those big chain. All right, and the final pro and con kind of come together. Pro 4, con number 4. Everyone wants to live in Eagle, Idaho. This is a pro because one, there's a reason for that. You're gonna get sucked in and you're gonna say, wow, there is a reason everybody is so drawn to Eagle. You're gonna have the equity gain if you decide to buy a home. You're gonna have things where people are like, hey, let's meet for dinner in Eagle, and you're like, perfect, I'm only 5 minutes away. There are a ton of pros about being in the place that is desired and that you can actually kind of set up roots in and raise your family. But that can also be a con because everybody wants to live here, which is leading to more development. You're leading to higher prices. You're just starting to feel that growth that is coming because everybody wants to be here.
Looks expensive.
Now again, it is for a good reason. Eagle is a super appealing place to live, and hopefully it sucks you in the same way it sucked my family and I in, but there are some ups and downs to all things, especially when we're looking at growth and new development. Now, again, I am a licensed agent, so if you have any questions on this development, you're trying to think about, okay, is Eagle actually a good place? This phone number below, reach out. I'm the one that answers those calls, texts, emails. I would love to answer any of your questions that we have. And if you kind of have a pro or con that you think I missed, drop it in a comment below. I would love to figure it out because again, I'm not the only one that has an opinion on these things. I look at all the research, I look at all the forums to try and give you that most up-to-date thing. But if I miss something, let me know. But until then, I hope some of these pros and cons were really helpful for you. So I'll see you at the next one and enjoy your day.